and this tree is a Gigantia Sapodilla tree. This came out of a grove where?
In Nicaragua.
In Nicaragua, okay.
Nice aftertaste, that butterscotch aftertaste. It's an excellent sapodilla. I would even call it a 5-star quality sapodilla.
Robbie was telling me and called me, he said he has about 5 Gigantia variety of the sapodilla, and I wanted to come see the trees, and I wanted to show everybody these trees.
Every single year this makes tons of fruit. It's really amazing. It's one of the most productive sapodillas pound for pound that I've ever seen.
I found another sapodilla variety that's just as big, just as productive, and just as delicious, but it's a different season to extend the season. And if you have the goal like me to eat fruit that's delicious, big, and available all year, or at least a good extended amount of time, I'm going to tell you what it is, and now I'm going to make it available to you. So, hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees. I'm here at Zill's High Performance Nursery, and I'm in front of this tree right here. And this tree is a Gigantia Sapodilla tree. I recently made a video about this tree, and I put it below. I'll put the link below. But Gigantia Sapodilla is an excellent variety. Okay, here's a fruit on the floor. Hopefully it's ripe. Oh no, it's not ripe yet, but look at the size. That's what it's about. And this tree is super old, but it's a beautiful tree. I got to get more clarification because in my last video I said this was the original tree, but now I'm hearing that Gary Zill brought this from Costa Rica. So maybe it's the original tree in the United States, or maybe it is the original tree. But regardless, it's an amazing fruit. It's not overly sweet. And just want to give you all a look and come here and look myself and see how it's fruiting right now. So it's March 11th and there's a good amount of fruit up here. This is a Gigantia Sapodilla.
You know, this is the Gigantia.
Is this the original one?
No, this came out of a grove in... Okay.
This came out of a grove where?
In Nicaragua.
In Nicaragua, okay. Here's one.
I'm really curious.
This one's ready. Could I pull it? It's ready. Almost.
Well, this tree, the fruit on this thing get this long.
Yeah.
And this big around, so I don't know.
What can you tell us about this? There's another fruit there. There's some up there.
Well, what I'd like to know is what happened to all the fruit on this thing, because I was wanting you to see it loaded with fruit.
Well, I did a lot of videos here.
Last week or a few weeks ago?
A couple of weeks ago, yeah.
Oh, okay, so you saw the fruit on it.
Yeah. So tell us about it.
Well, it's a big, good sapodilla.
What made you decide? I mean, there's a lot of good sapodillas out there in the world. What made you decide when you were in Nicaragua to bring this one back?
Well, I had a chance to go through a private grove that probably had 500 trees in it. And we walked through the grove and selected ones that looked interesting and brought them to my place in Costa Rica and grafted them there to keep them alive. And eventually brought some of them up here. And then we watched how they behaved up here. And we had already named this one Gigantia the day we saw it in Nicaragua because it was the biggest fruit we saw.
So the way to pronounce it is Gigantica.
Well, Gigantia in English with the G in Spanish is more like Gigantia, but that's how it's pronounced.
So because of the size of the fruit, you were attracted to it.
The size of the fruit, and it's good quality. It's not. It's the butterscotch is a little less grainy, and a little different flavor and texture. What's interesting is that Nicaragua was a center of diversity of sapodillas in Central America. Before the Spanish came in and kind of screwed up their culture, it was they were grown commercially there in Nicaragua. And so I heard about this from a presentation Dr. Jorge Leon presented in Miami many years ago. And he mentioned Nicaragua as a center for commercial growing of sapodillas. Annona reticulata, custard apple, centered around Tikal area in Guatemala. I went down there and it's absolutely correct. And the area where in Nicaragua also had a very good area for Mame Sapodi. Unfortunately, most of that area where they were grown was cut down and planted cotton, and then that didn't do well.
Wow.
But there's still some good varieties of mames in Nicaragua.
Well, this one is excellent. It's become one of my favorites. I really love it. Really
That's
love
good.
it.
That's
All right,
good.
This is Julian Laura with the Gigantica. What do you think of the size of it?
It's the size of a Tikal.
Okay.
Butterscotch was bigger than this. It's like the size of a Morena, Tikal, Hacia.
But this is cool. This usually you'd have a meat taste fruit for the first time, and now it's the other way around.
Yeah, I haven't tried this one yet. Gigantica.
Or Gigantia actually is.
Biodegradable.
You know the skin's edible.
I'm gonna eat it now.
Yeah.
Almost no sand.
No sand, not super brown sugar sweet, but like a burnt.
That was just what I needed because I was really thirsty.
What do you think of the?
I think it's just as good as a good Tikal, a good Hacia, a good Morena, a good Molix. A nice aftertaste, that butterscotch aftertaste. It's an excellent sapodilla. I would even call it a 5-star quality sapodilla. But so is many others. Many others are 5-star quality. This is a 5-star.
I like about this. It's a lot of sapodillas have the same flavor. This one has a little different flavor. It's kind of smoother and it's a little.
It is smoother. It reminds me of a Tikal and of a Silas Woods. It has a really nice watery, melon-like, pear-like texture.
And the tree's loaded, good sized fruit, and produces really well.
And you can eat the skin.
Yeah.
I'm not lying about that.
They're all edible, actually, I found out from a guy from Jamaica.
Yeah, they're all edible, but some are
thicker.
easier to eat than others.
Yes.
Like the Maycock, that one's really easy to eat.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable.
All right. 2 thumbs up from Laura Farm.
Yep.
All right. All right, everybody. I am at Naga Gardens in Lochahatchee near West Palm Beach. And they have a bunch of sapodilla trees. That's Ravi. And Ravi was telling me and called me. He said he has about 5 Gigantia variety of the sapodilla. And I wanted to come see the trees. And I wanted to show everybody these trees. So this is one of them, right?
Exactly. This is one, and there's one over there, and then there's a couple on the other side.
So tell us about the history. How long have you had these trees, and what size?
The Gigantica, we purchased them from Zill. It was probably 4 to 5 years ago, and they've been producing, but this year seemed like there's a lot more production on them.
And what size were they when you got them?
Oh, they were probably I'm thinking 7 gallons.
7 gallons.
Yeah. So.
And how long did they start producing since when you got them originally?
I think maybe in 2 years they started producing.
In 2 years.
Yeah, and then Sapoda is a slow-growing plant.
Yeah.
So it takes a while, and then I think we're seeing the maturity right now where it's producing a lot more. We have already cut a lot of them. That's why you're not seeing a lot of fruit on there now.
Yeah, but you had a lot of fruit. And what variety is that one?
Oh, this one is Alano.
Alano.
Yeah, Alano. It kind of grows wide, so it
Yeah.
takes up a lot of space.
Uh-huh.
width-wise.
It's known to grow wider.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So somebody who's planting Alano, just be aware of that they need a lot more wider space. Uh, but of course, the Alano fruit is always the tastiest.
Yeah. So this is going straight up, pretty much.
Generally seems like this particular variety goes straight up, not too much wide, and we normally trim them at the top, and then they grow back again, and you could see some areas that we trimmed over there, and so they're back up.
Very nice. And then what's this? Another Lano?
This is another Alano,
Yeah.
and then this one's again the Gigantica. I think the way you would know if it's a Gigantica is
Yeah.
it's
Look at
got
it.
those
Look how big the
ridges.
fruit is, everybody.
Yeah, it's not a perfectly oval-shaped fruit. I think it's got a little few ridges on the side. That's how I can tell that these are Gigantica. But you were thinking they might be butterscotch, but
No. They look like.
now that you're seeing it in person,
Well, yeah. I mean, they're that big. That's how big they are. But some of these are more butterscotch shape.
I see.
Some of these are more butterscotch shaped because they're just
Yeah, I
oblong.
don't have a butterscotch plant, so I
See, that's
can't really
oblong.
tell,
That looks like a butterscotch. That's oblong.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, the one we picked yesterday, I sent you a picture. It was like 1.6 pounds.
1.6 pounds.
Yeah, so that
Wow.
was one of the bigger ones that we've seen. And,
1.6
it was worth a picture
pounds.
for us. Um, I
Wow.
personally have not tasted this, even though we've had it. So now that you mentioned how good it is, I will.
Yeah, we're gonna taste them.
Yeah,
So,
definitely
how many
taste them.
sapodilla trees do you have on the
I'd
property?
say about 150 sapodilla trees.
150.
Yeah.
And so you have, I know you have Hacia, Alano, and
We have some
Gigantia,
Hacias, I think this might be a Murano.
Murano.
Yeah, you can just see the leaves have shed off. New leaves are coming in.
Is that normal with these trees that the leaves shed?
Yeah, normally in wintertime they'll shed a little bit, and then you get
Okay.
new ones, and then the flowers come right after that. And Sapotas take a long time to ripen. Usually 6 to 7 months.
Yeah. Do
So
some
it's,
of your varieties fruit all year, or like some of them it's just a couple of times a year?
Yeah, Paul, we start selling or picking the fruit around the month of late December, January, and then we go all the way up to the start of the lychee season, which is June. So we'll have up to end of June. I think we'll have Sapote. That's because we have those different varieties.
Sure.
They're always we got fruit for about 6 months.
And I know you said now this is really starting to produce in terms of seeing this, because it's been in the ground for a while.
Correct. Yes.
But what is it? It's like you said, now the season is right now, and here we
It
are in
looks like
March.
for Gigantica, the season is right now because you could see the fruits are fairly big and
Yes.
almost mature.
Yes.
And we picked like a dozen of them earlier
Wow.
today, I think.
Beautiful.
So
Well, thank
well,
you for
look,
showing us them. Yeah,
yeah,
we'll see
sure.
some. Oh, there's some more trees back there as well.
So this might be I don't know if it's a Hacia or a Murano. I'm not too sure. Again, like I said, I don't know if Hacia and Murano are going to taste too different because they're still bigger fruit. Oh, this might be Gigantic also. I'm sorry. Yeah, you can
Wow,
see.
look at that.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can see the
look
size
how
of
big
them.
it is. Wow.
And the growth pattern is straight up, not as wide as the Alano.
Yeah.
And then we got some more
Look at
here.
that.
These are Alanos.
Wow.
I think most of these we acquired through a ZIL.
These are
about 4 or
Alanos
5 years
here.
ago. Fairly small plants, maybe 5-gallon or 7-gallon ones. This is another Gigantica.
Another Gigantica. Wow.
So, yeah, I wasn't much into this one, and until I saw your video, and I said, "Wow, I have 4 or 5 of these here."
Oh, you're a jackpot, man. These are
So
excellent.
they're saying like they're one of the better tasting fruits now.
Yes. That one might be ripe, actually.
That one there, yeah.
Yeah. You shake the tree, it might fall.
A
Maybe.
lot of times we'll just scratch it a little bit.
Can we
just to
shake it and see if it falls?
Yeah. If it falls, then.
Oh, one of
good.
them fell. Is that ripe?
All right.
No, it's not
Yeah.
ripe. It's milky on the top.
So we'll just scratch it a little bit and see this green color here. So
Yeah.
it might be, it's a little bit too early to pick, I think.
Normally, when you shake the tree, if they're ripe, they'll fall soft. At least for me.
Yeah, in
But
fact, we're seeing a lot of fall down. Because we
unripe.
got quite a few of them that are very ripe right now.
I'd love you to taste one of these and get your opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely taste them as soon as we get one of those mature, ripe.
Yeah, so that's beautiful. That's great. That's a nice tree. And what is this one here?
This one I think is also gigantic.
Yeah, look,
Yeah,
wow,
it's a
so
good,
many, probably more than anyone. This is great.
yeah.
Very wise move this man made.
These were planted because probably Zill didn't have any other supporters at that time. So I said, hey, I need a plant supporter, and then we picked about 4 or 5 plants.
Good job, good job.
So
All
sounds
right,
like
everybody.
we made the right decision.
Now you sell these, right?
We sell them by retail, and also we ship them. Our prices are like $4 a pound. If somebody buys more, then we.
If somebody wants this particular variety, would you be able to separate it for them or no?
We could try to separate them. Normally we don't, but because of the volumes, we don't get a lot of volume. So
Sure.
we always tell them, hey, we can't separate them and we ship them.
Okay.
But we can if specific requests.
Okay, so if somebody called and said they want to try this particular variety.
Sure, sure.
All right. All right, everybody, there you go. This is excellent, excellent. Well, I'm going to go and take, let me hold that a second to show people the size of that. Look at that. And I'm going to go and take a picture of the ones he has in the office. Okay, here we're in their office, and I'm going to put the link below, everybody, so you could purchase these. But look how big these are. The Gigantia, look how big they are. They got a scale here. That's like 1 pound. Wow. Wow, I'm excited. He's going to let me have some of these, and I'll be able to do a little taste test with everyone. And here's some of the other ones. Look at the difference in the size. Look at that. That's an Alano, and that's a Gigantia.
Big difference.
Big difference.
Yeah.
And there you go. All righty. All righty. Tell us about the Gigantia. How many of those do you have here?
Just one.
Just one.
We only have this one, and we planted it the same year we planted this Thomas here. And
What year was that?
I think it was in 16.
Okay.
It might have been 15. I don't know. It's been a while. So these have been in the ground for a while. This tree has been very prolific. I wish we'd shown it. I think we did show it in that one video.
So much.
It had so much fruit. Every single year this makes tons of fruit. It's really amazing. It's one of the most productive sapodillas pound for pound that I've ever seen, because it makes lots of fruit that are maybe this size, but it will still make big fruit in the same crop, which you would think that all those fruit on it would reduce the size and require thinning to make it big, but it will still churn out those giant fruit too.
Yeah,
so I think that's pretty cool. It's not my favorite in terms of flavor. It's not the worst either, I guess, but I don't get too excited over them, but I do appreciate its productivity.
I've had some that were, they're not as sweet as like Alano, but I had some that was somewhat sweet, but I had some that weren't sweet at all, so.
Yeah, I mean, they're usually sweet.
Here we are, I'm here with my wife, and we got our favorite Gigantia. And Laura seems to get a different taste buds every single day. Some days she loves particular varieties, and other days she doesn't. But we just went to visit Naga Gardens, and they had 3 of the most beautiful looking Gigantia trees. And sometimes I pronounce this, I say Gigantica, because it's so big, but it's either Gigantia or Gigantia. Regardless, it's an amazing fruit, and these are ready. And if you want this variety, definitely I'll put the address below to Naga Gardens. They actually ship in the mail. Look how big it is and beautiful. Yeah, so we're gonna try it now, and Laura will definitely give you an honest assessment of what she thinks of it. There you go. And just so you know, the skin is edible on sapodillas, but most people don't eat them. Some of them is a little bit harder, but it is edible. But regardless of the skin, that me, it's not over sweet like other sapodillas, but it's just so soft and smooth. What do you think?
The first thing that came to mind was that it wasn't really sweet as some of the other ones, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's not as sweet. Let me try another one.
All right, here's another one. What do you think?
It's just really not sweet.
But you always say the other ones are too sweet.
As you said, my taste buds change all the time.
I'm gonna grab another one because
It could be that it's soft, squishy too. Yeah, compared to the other ones that I've eaten, or maybe even another Gigantia that I've eaten, this isn't overly sweet. I don't know why though.
that one.
This one's actually really sweet. I like it.
It's very interesting. Now he had 3 trees.
And it's the same actual, like, Gigantia. Look, it isn't an actual different variety. It's the same variety. This one's actually really sweet.
Same fruit, and I don't know which particular tree this one was from compared to the last one, if it was the same tree or not. But that's why I always say you try something at least 3 different times before you make your decision about it. Wow.
So much better.
I even like the last one, but this one. The amazing thing about this is it's so smooth. There's no grittiness to it. It's like so smooth.
Yeah, it's very good.
That's why you always taste something 2 or 3 times before you decide.
Yep, really good. Really sweet. Very tasty.
So that other fruit, you would have gave it a what from a 1 to a 10?
The one that I just ate before this. I'll be generous. Maybe a 2.
A 2, and this one?
This one's really good. I'd give it maybe like a 9, 8.5.
See, we're gonna try another one now.
Okay though.
So what are at least 2 fruits from Naga Gardens? They're the only place I know that has this to ship it in the mail. And it could have been the ripeness of it. It could have been that first one was more ripe. This one looks even darker than the other 2. Let's try this one. So far, we're 1 for 2. That one's like, to me, in the middle of the last 2.
Yeah, this one's a bit ripe. I think for me it's better than the first one. But it's the same texture and consistency in a way, like the same ripeness. But I like this one better than the first.
So maybe when they get super ripe,
They taste different.
maybe. I like them all. There's no masking things up here. I let people have their honest opinion.
Yeah, I like this better than the first one. But the second
But
one's
it's
still...
definitely not as sweet as the second one.
Yeah.
So what would your overall assessment be?
I think the first time I had Gigantia, that's how I pronounce it at least, I really loved it. And I love these as well. I think the first one that we had was a bit maybe too mushy or too ripe for me. And I just didn't really like the taste, really. But the rest of them that we had, I really, really enjoyed. And I like the taste and texture and everything.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, check it out. I am so blessed to be able to have gotten these plants. to get in the ground, I definitely want to grow this variety. And as I said on this channel, we're not sugarcoating anything. This is real and true. I did not have to put my wife on here, not even a stranger, but my wife on here saying she didn't like one of the varieties or one of the taste of the fruit we had. To show you that we're very transparent here. Even if she didn't like any of them, I would have put it. But she absolutely loves this variety. And I'm always going to have tastings with her and other people that are going to give you that honest assessment. And the other thing is, taste is subjective. So I always recommend you taste more than one of the fruit that you're tasting, because there's always a bad one in the batch sometimes, or it could be from a different tree. So I don't know when I picked those trees from Naga Gardens if it was a tree or whatever, but the other ones were out of this world. So if you only tasted one, you would have thought, well, that's how they all taste, and it's not always the case. So even then, if it's amazing, your taste might be subjective to somebody else's, or objective, whatever the word is. And so some people like things better than other people. But regardless, most people, actually everyone, likes a good tasting variety of the Gigantia. Alex at Tropical Acres even said he likes it. It's not his favorite, but he likes it. Julian says it tastes like some of the other varieties. Great and excellent. For me, the majority of the variety of that variety I tried were excellent. I'm definitely going to do my best to get at least one tree in the ground, maybe two. And my goal is to have bigger fruit. And Sapodilla, I was kind of on the cusp with, because I didn't know if I wanted to keep this tree, because the Alano is so small, and even though you get a lot, it's more of a snack than a meal. And for those of you that watch my channel, I want a meal, not a snack. That's why I got fruits that are going to fill me up. So when it comes to the Sapodilla, I want fruit that's big, delicious, and productive. That was my issue with the butterscotch. It was big and delicious, but it wasn't productive. But this matches, this beats it. The Gigantica, it's the one to go to meet my goals. Big, productive, and delicious. And it's a solid bulletproof tree. All right, everybody. I'll put the address below to Naga Gardens so you can grab some fruit if they still have. Right now it's March 21st, and I just got these, and their trees still had a good amount on them. I don't know when this video is going to upload, so they might have passed already. Well, I have some trees as well. I still have some trees left. If anyone's interested, contact me at the email below. You know, I still have a couple, and I'm going to be getting some more in. But contact me at the link below. And again, I definitely think it's more an advantage to have this over something like butterscotch. Because butterscotch, the flavor is okay, but it's just not a good producer. Alano's a great producer, but the fruit's so small.
Yeah.
I love the Molek, or the Molish, but some people don't as much. And Hasia and Murano I just tasted, and they were pretty good too. So, like I said, I've never tasted Sapodilla that I didn't like, and there's more to come. So we just tasted a brown sugar variety, which is an old variety, and people don't like it because of the grittiness. But I loved it. I loved the grittiness, and that was actually the first one I've tasted in the past. The first Sapodilla was a brown sugar, and it was like, wow. Then when I started tasting these smooth varieties, I was like missing that wow factor. But we tasted a brown sugar variety the other day. So good, and it's hard to find actually, because everyone wanted the smoother one, so they stopped kind of producing that one. I was able to track one down, and that was great. But I have a tree in the ground that I suspect might be a brown sugar. There's some small fruits on there now, because years ago I asked somebody to give me a brown sugar, and I think they did. So I'm waiting for those fruits to ripen to see how they are. But that's the old school variety. Again, taste is subjective, because most people prefer the new ones. Alano's probably the best tasting one, but it's just so small. It produces great. Well, there you have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. What's your favorite variety of Sapodilla Neaseberry? Put in the links below, or the comments below. Now, there's a couple of varieties I didn't try yet that are big and productive that I want to still try, that I will in future episodes. One's called the Ox. I haven't tried that one yet. But there's one particular one that there's one other thing that I wanted to accomplish for my goal, and that is big, productive, delicious, and also how long does the season last? That was the only thing. There's a certain season to these fruits, and the Gigantia last a certain season, and that season's coming to an end. And I was thinking, if I just had something that was just as big, just as productive, and just as delicious, that would be wonderful. But a different season, but a different season than the Gigantica. And folks, you've made it this far through the video, and I'm going to tell you the great news. I found another Sapodilla variety that is just as big, just as productive, and just as delicious, but it's a different season to extend the season. But I'm going to keep you waiting, because that's going to come in the next episode. And depending when you're watching this, you might have already seen that episode, but I will add the link below in the future. But that's coming in the next episode. That perfectly gives the 1-2 punch of making Sapodilla amazing. You got the season that is currently with the Gigantica now, and then the next variety that's coming in that's big, productive, and delicious. Those become my 2 top varieties of Sapodilla meeting my goals, and I'm excited to share that next episode with you. Maybe I'll put a little clip here to give you a little sneak peek. Remember, after that episode airs, I'll put the link here below, but be ready for the next episode that's going to drop. Thank you for watching, everybody. So you would say this is your favorite Sapodilla?
Yeah, I think so.
Very nice.
That's a very good Sapodilla.
All right, everybody, here I was about to leave, and I thought I tasted the best of the best when it comes to the Sapodillas with the Gigantia, and it achieved my goals. It was a big fruit, but then Alex tells me about, which is a big fruit also, meeting my goal, and I had that. And just when you think you taste the best, you taste something like that.
I had never eaten this. I came to buy a mango tree, to pick up a mango tree that I bought, and I tasted this when you guys were tasting it. And this is fantastic.
Looks like you bought a tree.
I did. I'm excited to.
And I'm buying one too, just when you think it tasted the best. I just had the Gigantia at the car, and my wife tasted the 2 of our favorites.
Okay.
We love them both.
Okay,
Excellent.
okay.
Excellent.
It's probably my favorite Sapodilla, and I've tried quite a few.